Hello, sixth grade science. This is Miss Mann talking, and I am going to talk to you about Earth spheres nodes. So, when you click on this assignment, you're going to see a couple links. You're going to watch these videos in order. So, you're going to click on this one, and then you're going to watch this video, and then this video. Watch them in order, please. Then read the posted articles and fill out the note template. The note template looks like this. The one I'm going to be filling out with you today looks a little bit different because this is the one I filled out with my in-class learners. And I had to make some adjustments so it fit on the page properly. If you cannot get this printed out appropriately, then feel free to copy. Feel free to put it on a lined piece of paper. But either way, I need to see that you have completed the K, W, L, and the quarter of the earth in each section. So we're going to go over how to do that in this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with, this. So as you can see, I have already filled out what I know, and I got this from the video, right? Geo equals Earth. I know this from the video. Geosphere contains all solid Earth. All right, there we go. And then another thing I learned from the video equals geosphere equals non-living. Now, what I want to know is how the geosphere interacts with the three other spheres, right? So I have my K and I have my W. Now let's go to the L. And I'll be explaining what's inside this quarter portion of the Earth in a second. So what you do is you then go back, you go to the assignment, and you click on the geosphere article. That is where I'm starting. If you feel like starting in the hydrosphere, go ahead. It's whatever works best for you. So, what is the geosphere? The geosphere is a solid portion of Earth. The geosphere is commonly known today as the lithosphere, but the two names are interchangeable. The geosphere refers to what we think of as land, mountains, valleys, and plateaus are example of landforms. However, the Earth under your school, your home, and all around your community is part of the geosphere, even the Earth at the bottom of the ocean floor. And here you can see a nice picture of the ocean floor. Earth is composed of layers similar to the atmosphere. The hard layer of solid Earth beneath us is called the crust. Below the crust is the mantle, and at the center of the Earth is the core. The geosphere specifically refers to the solid portion of Earth, the crust and upper mantle. So now here's where we're going to get to that quarter portion of Earth that I have, right? So I have already kind of sectioned it out. I put the core, mantle, and crust. And as you can see right here, I kind of put brackets around the crust and the upper part of the mantle. This is known as the geosphere. This is what this is called. So for the geosphere, you can easily get another color, or you can even get a highlighter. That's what I'm going to do. And you can highlight everything that has to deal with the geosphere, right? You don't have to color it in exact all the way because then it'll just look sloppy. But the geosphere consists of the upper mantle and the crust, right? And I don't like it how the highlighter kind of blended that. So let's rewrite crust right here. And then we'll make a little key up here. Green equals geosphere. All right? So now let's get to the actual writing portion. I have a physical copy of the article right here. So the article is called, What is the Geosphere? So I like to put number 1 for the first part, This is the first paragraph in this article. Under the first paragraph, it is titled, "What is the geosphere?" So you're going to put, what is the geosphere? All right, maybe add a little question mark there. So there we have the title of our first paragraph. Then we do a little bullet point to mark our first point. So we know the geosphere is the solid portion of Earth. It is also the crust / upper mantle, right? And one last thing I would like to note is that lithosphere is synonymous with geosphere. That means they mean the same thing. They are the same thing. They're synonyms. Let's make that more look like an L. All right. So now we have our first paragraph down. So the Earth, so we're going to start right here now, okay? So I'm going to go back to the article. Earth's crust. Earth's crust is relatively thin. It measures about 25 miles deep, or 40 kilometers around the globe, and is made of rocks and minerals. There are two types of crust, continental crust and oceanic crust. Continental crust is the solid part of the Earth, which forms the 7 continents. Oceanic crust is the solid Earth found at the ocean floor. Oceanic crust is more dense than continental crust, but they are both part of Earth's crust. Although Earth's crust is thin, only 1% of Earth's mass. It supports all life in the entire universe. Let that sink in for a moment. So, I picked out 2 important pieces of information here, right? So, right now, we need to write the new title of the paragraph. The title of the paragraph is Earth's crust, right? So, we're going to do title of paragraph 2 is Earth's crust. And I like to underline my titles. I like to underline my headers. That way I know that those are the main topics. That is going to be the main subject of these bullet points right here. So the Earth's crust. We know that there's 2 types of crust. Continental crust and oceanic crust. The continental crust is less dense, and the oceanic crust is more dense. All right. So that's going to be number 2. Now let's read on about tectonic plates. So here is the tectonic plate portion. The geosphere is broken up into 7 major tectonic plates, which are giant slabs of Earth's crust and upper mantle. Earth's tectonic plates fit together like puzzle pieces. The tectonic plates are not to be confused with the continents. The 7 plates cover the entire Earth and contain both oceanic and continental crust. The plates are constantly in motion because they rest upon a semi-solid lower mantle. The lower mantle is composed of molten rock or magma. This magma is extremely hot and acts like a liquid. This causes the plates to move slightly. Tectonic activity happens at the boundaries of Earth's plates, where the puzzle pieces fit together. These boundaries are called fault lines. Movement at the fault lines is considered an earthquake. When plates shift together during an earthquake, they push up solid Earth, which forms mountains. When plates shift apart, they form trenches and valleys. Earthquakes can occur at boundaries in oceanic crust too. These earthquakes form mountains and deep ocean trenches underwater. The geosphere as we know it today has changed drastically over millions of years because of tectonic activity. It is still constantly changing and evolving today. All right, so that brings us to our next part of the notes, right? Paragraph 3. And that is tectonic plates, right? Tectonic plates are giant slabs of crust and they consist of both oceanic and continental crust. We'll be going over plates more in depth later. However, this is just kind of an overview. This is kind of the major components about what the geosphere entails, right? What is a geosphere? It's Earth's crust. Earth's crust has continental tectonic plates, right? There's two types of Earth's crust, continental crust and oceanic crust, or oceanic crust is more dense than continental crust. So we'll be going over more about the logistics of that later. Once you are done reading all of the articles, your notes should look something similar to this, right? I did this earlier with a previous class, so it probably doesn't look the same, especially the geosphere one, but I'm going to go ahead and review it quickly with you. For the atmosphere one, this is kind of the one I wanted to hit most on. I have Earth's surface, then we have the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. I mapped out the atmosphere in this section of the Earth, right? And here are my notes. Again, I use the same thing. What is the atmosphere? The next paragraph is the troposphere, the stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and then exosphere. And you don't have to write about all of the spheres, because if you looked at that article, it is long, right? So just write out the main points of each sphere. So troposphere, that's where weather and clouds happen. Tropo equals change, and it is the densest layer in our atmosphere. The stratosphere contains the ozone layer. Mesosphere, the meteors and comets occur there. And then thermosphere is the hottest. So thermo equals heat. And exosphere is the exit of our Earth. So it's exit. So that way it's just like a quick snapshot of what the atmosphere is. And remember, from the I got the no from the videos that I showed earlier. And what I want to know is how the atmosphere interacts with the other spheres. All right? Now, here we have hydrosphere, right? Again, I put what I want to know, what I know, and then what I learned. Learned is with these notes. Now, when it comes to the hydrosphere and the biosphere, hydrosphere, I drew a bunch of fishy. I drew basically an ocean, and we put some fish in there to show the biosphere interacts with the hydrosphere. You could maybe even add like some raindrops, because that is also considered the hydrosphere. Or perhaps you could even put the water cycle in there somehow. Or you could just write water cycle. That is all part of the hydrosphere. Now, biosphere, I just added a person walking down the path with a turtle, I know, expertly drawn, a tree, and a flower. Just all living things. That's what a biosphere is. All living things, all life on Earth. So your goal is to read all of these articles, fill out all of these notes, right? I kind of like this one better. And just make sure that you take really thorough notes. Don't just write down one thing in each box. you can see that I dissected the articles by paragraphs and kind of wrote out the main points, right? That's kind of what being a student is, learning how to take notes, how to learning to effectively study. So ensure that you are taking effective notes and do not copy out of the article word for word, because that is not how you learn. That is just not how you learn. All right. So that's going to be it for this assignment. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope everyone here has a great day, and if you, again, need any help, please email me or go to my office hours on Thursday from 3:30 to 4:30. Awesome. See you then.